Today, VisitVacone meets with Gary Farney, Associate Professor of History at Rutgers University, Newark, USA, to discuss the Roman villa at Vacone. Welcome, Professor, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
How did the collaboration between your team and the Italian authorities for the excavation project come about?
So in 2011, my friend and colleague Dylan Bloy and I were looking to start an archaeological project together in Italy, since both of our research interests are in the Roman Republic. We wanted to operate an archaeological field school as part of the project, so establishing one near Rome seemed like the best logistical choice for us. In 2008, we had met a Dr. Giulia Masci, who studied the ancient Sabines and whose family is from Casperia, actually, pretty close to Vacone. In 2011, I asked her if she wanted to join us in looking for a project in the Sabina, and she agreed. And together we reached out to Dr. Giovanni Alvino, who was then the superintendent of person in charge of the area around Vacone. And she told us we should try to visit the site of the Villa di Vacone and consider it. So the three of us visited it in July of 2011, and we found the site, to be perfect potentially for our purposes. We knew that not many Roman villas in the area had been published fully, and most of the site itself had never been excavated before. We also immediately fell in love with the town and the area around the Sabina, and that made it even better for us. So we applied for a permit to excavate with Dr. Alvino's support and assistance, and we started to work in the summer of 2012.
What are the main discoveries you have made so far, and what are the most significant historical implications?
Yeah. So, of course, there are the pretty mosaics and wall plaster. They are stunning to see and experience, even though they're badly damaged. But more important has been what we've learned about the villa as an agricultural production site, both in the Roman and the early medieval period. The pressing area near the dome was one of the largest pressing emplacements in central Italy, and the villa was probably at its height in the 1st century AD.
How would you describe daily life and the economy of the villa based on the finds you have made?
So the owners of the villa were likely very rich Romans who lived in Rome and visited the villa from time to time, which was probably only one of several that they owned. The luxurious appointments of the villa, the dome that was probably part of a nicely decorated nymphaeum, and the rich mosaics and wall plaster show that the owners were interested in enjoying the villa as a country estate while also making money from the agricultural production from the site. One of our rooms, stanza 4, room 4, provides evidence that one of the inhabitants, at least of the villa, was a woman, as we found a cosmetic implement in that area, and also a jewelry box handle. And also, the walls in the room are such that there are niches provided so that you can screen off part of the room and make it more private. It's kind of a nice room in and of itself. Other small rooms, probably bedrooms, are richly decorated in painted wall plaster and floor mosaics. The porticos that were above the cryptoporticos, especially the southern one, provide for lovely views of the Sabine countryside as they do today. The labor of the villa, however, was probably almost certainly provided mostly by slaves, whose work was perhaps supplemented seasonally by local free person labor from the surrounding area. It's unclear where the slaves might have lived, that perhaps not in a part of the villa that we've so far excavated, because we really haven't found evidence of that. But anyway, in the 2nd century AD, things began to change. The villa suffered from some kind of seismic event, or perhaps even multiple seismic events, and only basic repairs were made to keep the villa operational. The mosaics were not repaired, or they were just repaired to be functional for work. This probably means that the villa was begun to be seen solely as an economic investment by the owner, not really one they cared to use for luxury purposes. There's also a shift in the use of the pressing area itself from just olive production to wine and olive production at this time, perhaps trying to diversify operations and make the villa more economically viable. Nevertheless, in the early 3rd century, the villa seems to have been abandoned. Burials appear at the site during the beginning of this period, and then basically everything kind of stops. This decline is reflected at other villas and sites in central Italy, for example, at Forum Novum, which is very near Vicone. Anyway, from the 500s to the 800s, the villa sees some kind of resurgence where people are again on site. More burials appear on site, and also the location is used again for agricultural processing. The vaulted structure in the northern edge of the site was used for agricultural storage and keeping animals, as we've discovered from excavations. We've also found evidence that there were several kilns now on site, so for the firing of clay or some other sort of productive work. Like the San Donato site near Mompeo, the site seems to have been the center of agricultural production in this new political world dominated by the Lombards in this area of Italy, at least. Lombards who were probably based in Spoleto. The town of Vicone, certainly founded by the year 1000, according to Farfa Abbey records, was probably also born at about in this transitional time period.
What's the historical and archaeological context in which the Roman villa of Vicone is located?
The Vicone villa reflects many of the historical trends we see in the Sabina during the Roman and early medieval period. The mosaics and painted wall plaster are perhaps somewhat grander than some sites, but architecturally it was a little less complex than other villas that we see, like the Villa di Mompeo and the Villa dei Cassoni, both of which are near Poggio Merteto. It may, however, be the evidence for the medieval period that it provides, but will end up showing how important Vicone is as an archaeological site. Very few other sites attest to this period better, aside from the general incastellamento of central Italy that we see in the area. So I think that's where Vicone will really show ultimately its importance for the region archaeologically.
What are the distinctive elements of this villa compared to other in Sabina?
So for one, we know that the site was rebuilt in the early 1st century AD. The eastern villa platform was extended, and the bath complex that had been there was filled in to make room for more space. This was an interesting choice for the owners to make. Also, many other villas in the region have some kind of water feature or cistern in the center of the villa's platform. At Vicone, there was a well installed instead in the rebuilding period, and a pool was added to the peristyle in this second phase. While it is interesting and a bit confusing why the owners would turn the area around their Nymphaeum into an olive pressing emplacement, it just makes us wonder, was there nowhere else for them to use, for this activity? And it's certain that the owners were not sort of shy about remodeling and redoing the villa, which makes it kind of interesting and a little special at Vicone. Anyway, this stands in stark contrast to the lack of repair at the villa we see starting in the 2nd century. As noted before, the villa's agricultural capacity seems to have been quite large. Perhaps there was more land at their owner's disposal than at other villas. That's unclear. Given the villa's relative isolation and distance from major roads or settlements, this makes some sense about why it's here. There was simply, more land for the owners to be able to exploit.
Last question. What are the plans for the conservation and enhancement of the site once the excavations are completed?
Yeah, so unfortunately, we don't know this just yet. In the U.S. now, as researchers, we're suffering from, a rather obtuse government that's in charge right now. And much of our institutional and state funding has been cut off at our universities. We hope to return soon and at least complete the studies and work we've done so far. But right now, I can't say exactly when that will happen. I know I'll be back to Vacone in the region, and probably we will do this more work in the summer of 2026. But I can't say exactly what we'll be doing or to what end at this moment because of funding problems.
Mr. Farney, thank you for your time and for kindness.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.